Yes, friends, once more I am a voice that's howling out in the wilderness. Hello guys, welcome, or if you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I am the Philadelphia Whovian, and for this video guys, we're going to be doing a video about something that I do a lot of. You've seen my channel before. If you have seen my channel before, you know this. If you haven't, yes, I am that lowly thing. I am a fan fiction writer who would love to be able to write professionally for the BBC novels or BBC books of Doctor Who. And I published, or not published, as initially I did publish, but now I just publish online for free on my website, my books that I write. And this one, yes, I'm going to be giving it to the world and announcing I have written another Doctor Who novel, and this one, oh, it's one of my favorite covers. It's called Doctor Who, and Then There Were Two. Yes, a play on the title, And Then There Were None. But here's the book, And Then There Were Two. I'll get closer. Look at that beautiful, beautiful cover. That's one of my favorite covers I've ever had. Yeah. Look at, and then there were two. Now, what is this one about? Well, this is book 11 of Eleven's Continued Adventures. Now, what I mean by Eleven's Continued Adventures is the 11th Doctor. This is a 12-book series that I have written where the 12th Doctor, before it ever began, the 12th Doctor went back in time and he stopped the 11th Doctor from regenerating into him because he needed the 11th Doctor to help him save another companion's life. So both of them had an adventure together, but now the 11th Doctor is living off of borrowed time. His body is winding down. Eventually he's going to go back to Trenzalore and have to regenerate into 12. But right now he has more regeneration energy stored in him to stabilize his incarnation. As a result, he has more time. So that's how Eleven's Continued Adventures, this 12-book series that takes place after the time of the Doctor, is around. And with this series, I had the Doctor travel with different companions. One time he was with Martha, Mickey, and Clara. Another time was with Amy, Rory, and Clara. The Ponds always know her as Clara Smith, because for 11 and Clara, it's post the time of the Doctor. For them, it is during Series 6. Yeah, so Ponds and 11 and Clara are in two different timelines when they meet up with the Ponds, but they act like, to the Ponds, it's just not the same thing. Yes, and then also we've had Sergeant Benton has made appearances, as well as Nisa, and quite a lot of other companions, a plethora of other companions have come into the series, as well as a couple of other Doctors. And this one, And Then There Were Two. This one is where I went full-on happily meta. Here's why. Because the story starts out right in the beginning with the 11th Doctor with Amy and Rory. He's traveling along, then all of a sudden the TARDIS just gets into like almost an accident. It's getting pulled towards a CVE that's also attached to a time fissure. And the time winds go into the TARDIS, and the Doctor falls out of it, and he falls towards the CVE and time fissure, and the TARDIS closes behind him. Amy and Rory are trapped on the TARDIS by themselves. The Doctor is gone, and they don't know if he's dead or alive, and they even begin to make plans to go into the CVE to go get him, but the TARDIS is completely dead. What I mean by that is the encounter with the CVE zapped her energy and her power, so they are in a dead TARDIS. But then a hologram version comes out of the console unit. Literally, the TARDIS is dead in the air, but a hologram system activates, and it's the Doctor. It turns out the 11th Doctor was working on a hologram program so that if he ever got separated from his companions, they were in the TARDIS and he was not, the hologram could help his companions, keep going and keep thriving until they got back to him again. So this hologram comes out with the Doctor's entire personality, his, mental processing and everything. It's just a hologram. But here's the problem. Being the Doctor, he got it a little mixed up. It's the 11th Doctor's program, but the hologram keeps going in and out of images, and it's always the 4th and 5th Doctor. So yes, the 11th Doctor created this program, but it always looks like the 4th and 5th Doctor, Tom Baker and Peter Davison. And the image keeps going in and out of those two. So here they are helping the Ponds try to get the TARDIS working again so they could go into the CVE and find out if the Doctor is alive. But here's the problem. Also on the TARDIS is a monster has gotten some sort of creature has gotten onto the TARDIS and is chasing Amy and Rory. So the hologram fourth and fifth Doctor are not only trying to get them to an area that keep them safe, but also to get the TARDIS working again and to protect them from this new threat. That's happening in our space. But where did the 11th Doctor go when he fell into the CVE time fissure? It turns out when he fell into it, he fell into another universe. You see, Amy and Rory, they're in our universe. I call that regular space. But there are other versions of space if you know the full history of Doctor Who. And the Doctor, in this one, he fell into a little pocket universe that's on a fixed orbit called M space. M like in middle space. Now, that is something I created completely myself. For those of you guys who are aware, there is other versions of space in Doctor Who. One is called N space, which stands for null space, which is like a void. And correct me if I'm wrong below, but I think that might be the place where Eternals come from. But then there's also E space, which is where the fourth Doctor and Romana, they fell into, and it was another pocket universe, which they had a hard time getting out of. So I said, oh, I like the idea of creating another pocket universe. And this one is called M space. The Doctor fell into M space, and in M space are 3 planets. One of the planets is literally an alternate version of planet Earth. Very similar to planet Earth, just has a couple of differences. And the Doctor fell onto this other Earth in the year of 1966. And another difference between our universe and M space is, in M space, BBC has a show called Doctor Who, and it follows the adventures of a Time Lord who has a TARDIS that's stuck in the shape of a blue police box. And the Doctor falls into M space. He gets immediately saved by a woman named Clara Oswin. She's an echo of Clara Oswald. And naturally, when he says he's the Doctor, he's got a TARDIS, she's like, what the hell's wrong with you? She's like, well, yeah, no, the Doctor is a fictional character. Get away from me. You're weird. And eventually, because of all of his predictions about what's going to happen on the show, he gains her trust, and eventually she does believe he is the Doctor. And in regular space, there clearly is a real Doctor with a real TARDIS. And in their universe, they chronicle, by coincidence, the real life of a real Time Lord. So this is amazing to her. But the Doctor, 11th Doctor, falls into M space just as William Hartnell is leaving the show and Patrick Troughton is taking over. So all on this side, we have another thing. Clara, she works on the show Doctor Who. She's a floor assistant. And after saving his life and realizing, maybe it's true he is an alien from a different universe, she actually gets him a job working on the BBC on Doctor Who. He's a handyman. But soon into this, the, production side realized he's tall, so he could be a good Cyberman. And he's skinny, so he can fit inside of a Dalek. So, in Power of the Daleks, when you see the Daleks, one of those Daleks is the 11th Doctor inside. He's maneuvering the Dalek. And in the moon base, one of the Cybermen walking on the moon's surface is the 11th Doctor. And William Hartnell met the 11th Doctor, and he sensed there was something about 11 that was not quite of this planet. But he couldn't put his finger on it. But then Patrick Troughton comes in, and Patrick Troughton is quite the jokester. He even pulls pranks on the 11th Doctor. And one prank was so intense that 11 got frustrated, ran after Patrick, grabbed him, picked up Patrick Troughton, rolled him around, and threw him on a sofa. And Patrick Troughton just laughed after that. For clarification, this book also chronicles a lot of what's happening in the production side. The writers, Kit Pedler, script editor Jerry Davis, another script writer. We have, also Malcolm Hawke, David Whitaker. 11 meets these guys, and directors like Derek Martinez, Christopher Barry, and then producers Enos Lloyd, Sidney Newman, other people, even the costume designer and the woman who took William Hartnell's face and Patrick Troughton's face and did the first regeneration morph from one man to the next. He meets her as well, but he also befriends Anique Wills and Michael Craze, who play Ben and Polly, and he really befriends Fraser Hines, who plays Jamie. And Jamie was the most fun to write because of his relationship with Clara in this. I'll say no more about that. And then, of course, we meet Deborah Watling, who plays Victoria, and Wendy Padbury, who also is Zoe. So we get the entire production side up until the invasion. The invasion is the last story that happens before 11 gets out of M-Space. But the 11th Doctor's relationship with Patrick Troughton is some of the most favorite things I've ever written in my entire life as a writer. 11 and Patrick just got along together so very well. Clara was wonderful to write in this. I love writing echoes of Clara because it's just so fun. She's a fun person to do the echoes of. And also, with this, it would like about the 11th Doctor's relationship with Patrick Troughton is, 11 is there to give Patrick Troughton hope when Patrick Troughton discovers that people, of course, do not like his doctor. There was the second Doctor we know now as being a beloved Doctor, but at the time, you know, he was met with mixed reviews, where some people liked him, others just were like, bring back William Hartnell. Patrick Troughton does not have what it takes to be the Doctor. He is really bad. And 11 was there to coax him and to give him encouragement where encouragement was needed. So guys, yes, I've written another Doctor Who novel. And then there were two. If I ever said and then there were none when I was referencing this book, my bad, I got the title mixed up. It's and then there were two. See? There we go. And I posted down below the website that I have this on, so you can just download it for free in PDF or Word document. Guys, thank you so much just for coming and listening. You guys are absolutely awesome. Just by watching the video, you help support me, and thank you guys so much. You are awesome. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye, guys.